Hey everybody, Mr. Adam here from the Roy Hyatt Environmental Center, and today I want to bring you out to explore the aquatic habitats around Fort Pickens. We're going to first take a look at the jetty system, which is a man-made structure out of boulders. We're going to look at the grass beds and finally the open sand. I absolutely love going underwater and taking a look at all of the life. Our area has a beautiful ecosystem, and a lot of times you need to be looking around structure. Here's an example of our rock jetty. There's fish teeming around it. Our rock jetty is covered with life. You almost can't even see the rocks. There's algae and different creatures living on those rocks covering it. And between the rocks, we're gonna find lots of fish and crabs, different invertebrates of different kinds and colors. I love getting under that water and taking a look around. Now the Fort Pickens jetty is in a pretty amazing place. It deals with lots of different tides and currents and waves. These rocks help protect this area from all that wave action. And here we get to see some of the creatures that are also protected using the rocks as their shelter. This little guy is called a Sergeant Major. It has some yellow and blue and has black stripes on it. Most of the time we see these guys when our water warms up a little bit more in the summer. We'll see them in higher numbers as they migrate from further south in Florida up to our area. The Thinstripe hermit crab is one of the cleanup crew of the reef. They scavenge for bits and particles of meat, or even eat some algae. Now, a hermit crab wears someone else's shell. This is an example of the fighting conch shell on these two. Can you see the blue crab? It's facing to the right. You can see those two tiny little antennae flicking back and forth, smelling the water. I love unexpected surprises. I saw a little bit of an edge of this shell as it was poking out of the sand. I picked it up and I found the largest live sand dollar that I have ever found. That purple covering shows us that it is alive. Also at Fort Pickens, you can find in the shallows these grasses. It's a big lawn under the water. These are called grass beds. It is a very productive ecosystem with many shrimps and crabs and snails. These stingray love to shuffle across the bottom, eating many of those shrimp and crabs, snails, and even buried worms. These cow-nose ray were a bit difficult. We saw them from the boat, and I tried to get into the water and get close enough to video them. They were pretty quick, but I still think you can get a good view of them. Most of our ecosystem underwater is a sandy bottom. Let's take a look and explore and see what creatures might be down there. Different varieties of snails, like the lettered olive, and different varieties of sea stars. These two are gray sand stars, using the waves to lift them and their tube feet to walk across the bottom. Here's one to show you the size. They can range anywhere up to 12 inches, but typically you find them between 5 to 8 inches. I hope you enjoyed today snorkeling around the Fort Pickens aquatic ecosystems, seeing some of the treasures of the sea that we have living right here in our area.